Hi, hello. We're gonna talk a little bit about the KA or the KA11. Okay, it's the Fiio KA11 that dongle. In this case, I'm gonna to focus on one thing: the compatibility with the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Switch. Okay, this is the DAC. Now, this is something that I put to protect or try to protect the cable, so this is not included. The thing here is, I believe that some people are going to search about the compatibility and that maybe they are heard some compatibility issues with this dongle DAC. And let me tell you something: yes and no. First of all, let me let me bring the other phone. Okay, first of all, okay, you're gonna need the Fiio control app, okay? Because some people thinks like, I'm gonna to unbox the DAC and it's going to be compatible. No, you need first to have the Fiio control app. When you have the Fiio control app, you need to change the DAC to UAC1. Now, with UAC1 selected, now it's compatible with PS4, PS5, Switch. Now, the thing here is, there is a problem with the Fiio KA11, okay? In this case, you can see that I already have it in UAC 1.0, this is UAC 2.0, and in the case of, for example, the device volume, I have it full, I have no, so, you know, you need to do that, okay? The UAC version, this stuff, the noise, the volume, that's the things that you can select, okay? You can modify whatever in that case, but in this case is again this, okay? So UAC 1 now is compatible with PS4, PS5, and the Switch. Practically, you are not going to have a problem with Switch. The thing here is, with the PS4 and PS5, there is a problem with this DAC, and when you use it, for example, you are going to hear just from the left channel. So for example, if I go right now and I put this in a PS5 that is already on, it's going to have like this unbalanced sound. So it's going to be just in the left channel. But let me tell you something. This can be fixed, and it's a weird fix. Just put your DAC before you turn on the PS5 or the PS4. That's going to fix the problem. I had a video in Spanish talking about this, about that I bought the KA11 to use it as a DAC for the PS5, and that I have that problem, that it has like an imbalance, or it's unbalanced. And what I'm referring with unbalance is not like, oh yes, it's 3.5, it's unbalanced, brother. It's like, it's not 4.4. It's not that. It's about that the left channel sounds more than the right channel. The thing here is, again, you need to put the DAC before you turn on the PS5 and it's going to work fine. Now, again, in terms of, for example, volume, I think it sounds a little bit more than the control, but the thing here is, or this is something that is very special or specific. The control, it doesn't have a good feeling about the dynamic range of the sound. So this DAC, it has a better dynamic range in terms of, again, the sound. So for example, the sounds that should sound like a little low, it's going to sound a little low. So in terms that, for example, you have a sound that it should sound bigger, it's going to sound bigger. So these DACs have that feeling of it doesn't have more volume, but I believe that the problem is that dynamic range. Now, some people doesn't like the dynamic range, they want everything to be like a normalized. Personally, you know, I believe that you can have the option of control the thing. Personally, that's my idea. But in this case, it's going to show, or it's going to, you know, like make sound, the sound how it should be, not like the controller, which the DualSense normalize a little bit the sound. So for example, you don't have a big sound, like sound like big. It's everything like the same kinda, because it's not like completely normalized. They sound a lot the same, so that's something a little bit weird. But the thing is, again, I believe that it has the correct volume. Now, if you have, for example, you wanted to use a Sennheiser, I don't think it's going to power that things. The 660, I don't think. The thing that maybe what you could need is, for example, the HiVFC5, or the ones that have, for example, the XMOS USB chip processor. Okay, that's, for example, jumps some limits that the PS5 puts. So for example, if we are going to talk about why this happens, about the disbalance, that you connect the DAC while the PlayStation 5 is on, so why there is an imbalance? I think this is something that, again, is really difficult, that the DAC is trying to connect in different ways, rather than, for example, when you connect it, it's detects like it's getting on the device, and it's just like, okay, send me the data, and it's going to work. In this case, I believe that that's the problem, that it's once you connect it, when it's on, it's trying to reconnect like 2 or 3 times. For example, you can put your IEMs, and if you have a very sensitive IEMs, for example, you hear a little pop sound. So that's when, for example, the DAC is trying to connect. So in this case, if the PlayStation 5 is on, I hear like a 3 or 2 times a pop. If I just go, for example, right now, and I put the DAC before the PlayStation is on, and I just, for example, connect it, I'm not going to even hear a pop. So I believe that the problem is that. But again, it's compatible, and it really works. The thing is, you need to put it before the PlayStation 5 is on. And if you already have, for example, a DAC that has that unbalance thing, try putting in before the PlayStation is on. Maybe that's the thing, that it needs to connect the right way. And again, UAC 1.0 doesn't work 2.0. Okay, so think that. Now, again, if you tell me, like, for example, what I need more volume, the K11, it's not the KA11, it's the K11. That's a desktop one. I believe that the TRN Black Pearl, it has a little bit more volume, even that this has have like 245 milliwatts in 60 ohms, I believe, and it's like 200 in 32 ohms. It doesn't sound that you are using the 2100 milliwatts. It sounds a lot less. So for example, I believe that the architecture that it has, that's the problem in this case, because the USB chip is telling the PlayStation 5 that it has the exact model number of the DAC and the specs of not just that DAC, but the op amps. So for example, the ones that it has, for example, the XMOS chip, they can control it, and they can put the op amps like outside of the circuit, or think that it's outside of the circuit, and the PlayStation 5 is not going to know what op amp it has. So it's going to let you break like that volume limiter that it has, the PlayStation 5. So again, let's like cut this off. Maybe I can show you, for example, I'm gonna turn on the PlayStation 5. Now it's going to show, for example, how it looks in the PlayStation 5. We are not going to show, I'm not going to show you, for example, how it sounds, because it's really difficult. I'm just using a phone, so bear with me. Okay, here it is, the PlayStation 5. So for example, I already have it turned on. The thing is, if I connect it, it's going to appear the same, but it's going to have like that unbalanced sound. Completely going to the left channel, like a 90%, and the 10% the right channel. So for example, if I just put it before it's get on, I'm gonna to have like how it should be, like 50-50. And some weird thing too, it's that for example, the volume, when I have it when it has, the unbalanced sound, it has more volume on the left channel, so it's like playing uneven. Let me change it here. Okay, there it is. And I don't know where is the controller. Okay, let me. Here is the controller. The DualSense. There is no sound now, so sound, and up there output it says Fiio KA11 and it sounds fine. Now another weird thing is that, for example, the first time is going to show you the full volume. There is a weird trick, okay, and it doesn't work always. Is that, for example, if you put the volume like in the 50%, like a little bit like from here, from like left going from here, it's not that you need to have it like in the 50%, like again, like in the dead center. It's not just like that. It's like, for example, if I put it right here or here and I just up the volume, it has a little bit more volume. So for example, if the first time is going to appear you like 100% and you put it 50, 60, 70, whatever, and then you restart your PlayStation 5, is going to appear where you let the volume meter. So for example, if I put this here and I restart, it's going to appear here. But now the full volume is going to sound a little bit more, and it's something that is really weird. So I don't know, but again, it's compatible. It really sounds, for those who have, for example, that unbalanced sound, put it before you get the PlayStation 5 on. Okay, and again, sorry for my accent. I've been speaking Cantonese, Japanese, Spanish lately. So well, that practically that's the languages that I speak. So for example, I have a lot of problems then picking up again the English. So, but again, sorry for that.